the singing dog for me. I remember where I was when I encountered Clancy. I was sitting on the sofa at home watching Nationwide. It was June the 17th, 1996. Tom Maguire, who eventually became the boss man here in RT Radio 1, now retired. How are you doing, Tom? He was a reporter. And he went into Clancy's bar in Ballybunion. And there was Chris Hellard up at the bar with Clancy. You just can't beat this. You know, people have tried, dogs have tried in the intervening years. It's 25 years on now. But still, Clancy is the top singing dog in the world, I think. Clancy, take it away. Yeah, man.
Singing my cattle when the cattle call and the coyotes are howling. Where the doggies go, is there I be riding, there I be singing my cattle call.
Hey, there he is, Clancy, the singing dog. We'll stay with animals for the moment, because Kev Foy has been on to ray@rte.ie. Oh yeah, if you have any talented dogs or cats or anything, do let us know. Send us in clips. We'd be delighted to play them and annoy your listeners. Kev Foy has been on. He said, you mentioned the poor lambs again and their premature loss of innocence. We were talking about the fact that 2 lambs were rescued from a mine shaft. And I was just saying, well, you know, we all know what happens to lambs. Anyway, Kev says, I adore the sight of lambs jumping with the spring of spring in them, and it saddens me to think they'll soon be on a plate. The problem is Irish people don't know how to cook mutton. Think about it, Ray. Mutton is from a mature sheep. You get more meat from it. It makes sense to let the lamb grow, but Irish people put all meat from beef to sheep into the oven, 220 degrees, for 1.5 hours. When you do that to mutton, a superior rich meat, it comes out rough and tough. You don't want that, Kev. So the farmers can only sell lamb here. Mutton needs to be cooked at 100 degrees for 4 hours. And when you do this, or even do this, it's the softest and juiciest you'll ever encounter, with the most enriching flavours of meat you can eat, says Kev. A big fan of the mutton. What's that expression? Mutton dressed as lamb. They use mutton a lot in curries, don't they? In India and places like that. Goat and mutton. Yeah, we used to have mutton as kids, I'm sure we did. And it sounds great. It's slow cooking, isn't it? Slow cooking, and then the meat falls off the bone and melts in your mouth. That's what you want. That's what you want. And then if we took to the mutton, Kev, as you suggest, then all the lambs could gamble and jump and we could enjoy them instead of thinking when we see them, mint sauce, anchovies and rosemary, that sort of thing. Or even an Indian keema. I tried that the other day, I forgot to tell you. Not that you'd be interested. Keema. I encountered this in one of those magazines that you get free with the papers at the weekend. They're not really free because you're paying more for your weekend papers than you do for the papers of the rest of the week. Anyway, keema it's a use of minced lamb. It's an Indian dish. I suppose it's akin to a curry, but not really. So you do the onions and the ginger and the garlic and the chilies, and you fry them all off, making sure not to burn them. And then you add the minced lamb. And then you do it. And then I think you add a couple of tablespoons of coconut milk and some tomatoes, half a tin of tomatoes. And you let it simmer for a half an hour. And just before it's done, 5 minutes before it's done, you add peas, frozen peas. It needs the colour. I can assure you it needs the colour, and some coriander. And you serve it with naan bread. Yeah, the first attempt wasn't great. I think I'll have to go at it again, but none of the family liked it. When your wife is frying an egg 20 minutes after you've cooked for her, you know you've done something wrong. you know there's something up there. Yeah, a lot of people don't like the smell of lamb and the texture of it and all that. You know, it's a sort of a Marmite of meats, isn't it? Lamb.